Commando Helicopter Force, or CHF, is a group of 4 squadrons and supporting elements based at the Royal Naval Air Station, Yeovilton, in Somerset. Under the command of a half-star headquarters, it is a combined Royal Navy, Royal Marines force that operates Sea King and Lynx helicopters in support of the UK Armed Forces. Working under the control of the Joint Helicopter Command, it specialises in amphibious warfare. To meet this requirement, it must be able to operate entirely afloat or ashore, or any configuration in between, and be able to provide a simultaneous lift of 2 company groups of approximately 320 men for a radius of operations up to 80 kilometres, whilst also providing reconnaissance and control of supporting arms with subsequent logistic support, operating with other Joint Helicopter Command aviation assets as necessary to provide sufficient lift capability. Capable of deploying anywhere in the world, CHF is trained to operate in all environments, day or night, under all conditions, including chemical, biological, radiological and nuclear threats. Flying Sea Kings, 845 and 846 squadrons are able to provide their own logistic backup, including movement of ammunition, stores and equipment, as well as combat support to artillery and air defence batteries, a lift capability for combat engineers, and of course the deployment of further fighting troops. Secondary tasks include search and rescue and joint personnel recovery, routine tasking in transferring personnel and stores from ship to ship or shore, and surveillance tasking. 847 Squadron locate and coordinate the engagement of enemy forces utilising indirect joint fire plans. It can provide screening and mutual support for the destruction and attrition of enemy forces and the disruption of enemy bases. They also have a reconnaissance role and can be employed to support attack helicopters in the find function. Additionally, squadron pilots are trained as forward air controllers and artillery and naval gunfire observers. Inherently flexible, the Lynx helicopter can also be used as a temporary airborne command and control platform and for limited movement of men and material around the battle space. When established in the field, CHF squadrons will establish a forward operations base, or FOB. Each FOB is responsible for its own internal security, although the landing force will provide force protection as a whole. Providing an autonomous, land-based aviation capability, the composition and posture of each FOB can be specifically tailored to meet any scenario. Each squadron has the ability to deploy its own independent FOB, comprising a control post and aircraft with sufficient aircrew and engineers to operate. Alternatively, a force deployment could see the amalgamation of assets into either one large FOB or any combination in between. Forward arming and refuelling points, or FARPs, provide the necessary flexibility to sustain field operations in forward areas. To support sustained operations, CHF HQ will establish a joint operating base, or JOB, providing command and control, engineering support, communications and intelligence, plus combat service support. CHF HQ personnel augment and assist the operational command, or OPCOM, with tasking and control of assets. OPCOM afloat is vested in the Commander Amphibious Task Group, or Joint Task Force Commander, whilst ashore it may be passed to the Land Component Commander. Tactical command of the force remains with the commanding officer, CHF, throughout. An army marches on its stomach, so the saying goes. CHF is no different and has its own integral logistic support, which is provided by the Combat Service Support Squadron. It is also responsible for CHF's MT department, which operates over 200 vehicles that are required to support the force, ranging from Land Rovers to tactical aircraft refuelling vehicles. When compared with 3 Commando Brigade, this makes the CHF's Motor Transport Department second only in size to the Commando Logistic Regiment. Fully mobile workshops enable major maintenance to be undertaken in the field. Driver training is a very important aspect of the department's work. The challenges of extreme driving conditions necessitate professional instruction to ensure force personnel are properly prepared. The Mobile Air Operations Team, or MAOT, was established to advise, organise, coordinate and execute helicopter moves of troops and underslung loads. It consists of Royal Navy and Royal Marines personnel who have numerous secondary roles, both operational and training. They provide continual support to Joint Helicopter Command operational commitments and training support, which includes teaching squadron helicopter handling team leaders, rigger marshallers, and helicopter fast roping instructors. They are parachute trained, and the Royal Naval personnel have to pass the All-Arms Commando course. The Specialist Signals Troop provides ground-based communication support to the headquarters and squadrons. It operates the Advanced Bowman Communication System, which provides secure digital voice and data across the battlefield, and the PSC-506, a man-portable military satellite system that provides secure voice and text facilities around the world. An IT manager also provides deployable local area networks when necessary. The training of all CHF ground crew and air crew is in line with the standards of 3 Commando Brigade Royal Marines. The CHF Military Training Unit is run by Royal Marines instructors who teach military skills and fieldcraft. For many personnel, this will be their first experience of living tactically in the field and will prepare them for further training in harsher climates.
Well done.
A permanent base for operational training within the Arctic Circle has been long established in Bardufoss, northern Norway. To enable both aircrew and maintenance personnel to operate in this extreme and potentially hazardous environment, CHF has the Clockwork Cell, a dedicated unit which provides the necessary training and combat service support. Commando helicopters have regularly been used on operations. This commitment has seen the Commando Helicopter Force in support through many conflicts since 1956, when first used at Suez. Since then, the force has been deployed in counterinsurgency operations in Malaya and Aden, the battle to retake the Falkland Islands, the 1991 Gulf War, and the troubles in Northern Ireland. It has also worked with the UN and NATO in the former Republic of Yugoslavia and Kosovo, and carried out humanitarian operations in Bangladesh, Kurdistan and Nicaragua. Whilst colloquially known as the Junglers, an endearing term that was earned by their can-do attitude when operating in the harsh jungle environment of Malaya and Borneo, their recent battle honours have confirmed their considerable ability and tenacity in Sierra Leone and Iraq during Operation Telek. In addition to these deployments, aircraft and personnel are on standby to support the Joint Rapid Reaction Force worldwide. The reputation for high standards of professionalism and flexibility that has been earned on these operations can be attributed to the exacting training and support provided by 848 Naval Air Squadron. The squadron is responsible for the training of commando helicopter pilots and air crewmen. The pilots undergo advanced flying training and learn how to handle emergencies and to fly with sole reference to instruments before they are crewed up with their air crewmen. Together, they learn how to operate the aircraft in a tactical environment during operational flying training. Additionally, the squadron is responsible for training the pilots, air crewmen, maintainers and support staff how to operate in the field prior to joining a frontline squadron. 848 Squadron also provides training support for the Royal Marines and has a commitment to UK Special Forces. With HMS Ocean, HMS Albion and Bulwark, and the inception of the new amphibious platforms, such as the Bay-class vessels, these assets will provide significant enhancements to the flexibility and capability of the Commando Helicopter Force in its global role. In conclusion, the personnel of Commando Helicopter Force are impressive individuals who are highly motivated and ready to meet a host of operational imperatives. In 2003, the First Sea Lord stated, "It was the airborne assault on the Al-Faw Peninsula in Iraq that provided excellent examples of the many components of the Royal Navy's ethos. The assault, conducted in darkness, required professional warfighting standards, particularly flying and junior leader skills, of the very highest order. Indeed, we would have failed without the courage and determination of those in the thick of it, particularly from the Marines and aircrew. It is this ethos that is the core of the Commando Helicopter Force."